Hello, in this video we're going to take a look at algebraic long division. So a very tricky topic and it takes a while to get used to, but once you get into the swing of things it should be okay. So we're going to take a look at 3 questions of algebraic long division and we'll look at the steps that you have to do in order to solve those types of questions. So here's a typical algebraic long division question. We have 12x cubed minus 11x squared plus 9x plus 18, and they want you to divide into that 4x plus 3. Okay, now I've written down some steps in how to do these questions over here on the right hand side, and we're going to follow these steps to help us do this question. So let's just zoom out a little bit and see what the first step is. So the first one says, this one here, it says divide the first on the outside into the first on the inside. Now what that means is the first on the outside is this first little term out here on the outside of the sum. And the first on the inside is this thing here, 12x cubed. That's the first on the inside, and the 4x is the first on the outside. So we have to divide this into this. So let's do that down here where we have a bit of space. 12x cubed, we have to divide that by 4x. So the thing on the inside, the first thing on the inside, divided by the first thing on the outside. Now we'll have to get that. Now I always, with these divisions questions, because they're tricky enough as it is, I always like to write it out fully. So 12x cubed is actually equal to 12x by x by x. And 4x is simply 4x. Okay? Now the reason why I do that is because I can now see the x's cancelling. And I can divide the number in. So 4 goes into 12 3 times. So what's left now up on the top line? We've 3 and we've 2 x's. In other words, we have 3x squared. So that's what we get when we divide the first on the inside by the first on the outside. Okay? 3x squared. Now what do I do with this? Well, look at step 2. Write the answer you get on top. So I'm going to write this 3x squared up here. 3x squared. Okay. I've now done the first 2 steps. We're nearly halfway there, by the way. What's next? I have to multiply this top term, so this 3x squared that I got here a moment ago, I have to multiply this top term by both terms on the outside and write your answer underneath. Now let me explain what I mean by that. Okay, let me get the right colored pen first. I'm going to have to multiply this 3x squared. I'm going to have to multiply it by this, and I'm going to have to multiply it by this. I have to multiply by both terms on the outside. Okay? So 3x squared by 4x. What does that give me? Well, 3 by 4 is 12. And x squared by x is x cubed. Now the next one, 3x squared by 3. Well, 3 by 3 is 9. And x squared by nothing else is just going to stay as x squared. So I've done step 3 now. I've multiplied the top term by both terms on the outside, and I've written my answer underneath. Down there where I've written it, down here. Okay, I'm going to zoom out a little bit so you can see the steps. What's next? Change the signs. Okay, I need to change the signs. So, of this answer in blue here, I need to now change their signs. So this was a plus 12x cubed. It's now going to become a minus. And this was a plus 9x squared. It's now going to become a minus. Okay? Now I need to tidy that up. Okay? So when I'm tidying up, what I like to do is I draw a line and I put these terms, these like terms together. So here and here, they need to come together. Now what should always happen is these first two things should cancel. Because 12x cubed minus 12x cubed, well, they cancel each other out. They're gone. However, over here, we have minus 11x squared minus 9x squared. That comes to minus 20x squared. Okay? Right, so that's step 4. Now I'm going to run out of space, so I'm going to delete what I've done here. So I have my extra space. What's next? Bring down everything else and repeat. So do you see the way I have not touched yet? I have not touched these terms here. Plus 9x. I need to bring those down now. Bring them down. So plus 9x plus 18. And I'm going to repeat everything all over again. All of these steps, I'm going to repeat them all over again. Right back up to the start again. So, back up to step 1. Divide the first on the outside into the first on the inside. This time, this is the first on the inside. So I'm going to divide minus 20x squared. I'm going to divide that by 4x. That's my first on the inside, and this is my first on the outside. Okay? Now, like before, I'm going to do it out fully. So minus 20x squared is the same as minus 20x by x all over 4x. What does that give me? That x will cancel with that x, and 4 will go into minus 20 minus 5 times. So my answer is minus 5x. Okay, so I've done that. Now write my answer that I get on top. So I'm going to put it up here. I'm going to do it in purple. Minus 5x. Okay. Now I've got to multiply this by both of the terms on the outside. Okay. So I have to multiply this answer that I've just gotten by both of the terms on the outside. So I need to multiply it by this, and then I need to multiply it by this. Just like I did with the 3x squared earlier on. Okay? So minus 5x by 4x is minus 20x squared. By the way, you know you're going right when the answer you're getting here is the same as what's above it. See the way it was the same over here with the 12x cubed and the 12x cubed. Okay, and now minus 5x by plus 3 will give you minus 15x. Okay, that's step 3 done. What's next? I've got to change the signs and tidy it up. So change the signs first of all. This was a minus, it's going to become a plus. This was a minus, it's going to become a plus. You change the sign to whatever is the opposite. Now, tidy this up. So minus 20x squared plus 20x squared, they should cancel. And like I said, you know you're going right when you're able to cancel there. What about these two things? Plus 9x plus 15x. That gives you 24x. And now don't forget to bring down the plus 18. So plus 18. And now we're ready to repeat for the last time, final time. Okay, so we repeat again. So we keep repeating, by the way, we keep repeating until we get to 0. And when you get to 0, you're finished. Okay, what's step 1 again? divide the first on the outside by the first on the inside. So this time this is the first on the inside. So I've got to divide 24x by 4x. What does that give me? Well, 4 goes into 24 6 times, and those x's are gone, so it's simply just 6. I write my answer on top, plus 6. That's what I did there, put my answer on top. And now I've got to multiply this top term by both terms on the outside. Okay, so I've got to multiply this 6 by this and by this. Okay, so 6 by 4x is 24x, and 6 by 3 is 18. Change the signs. Okay, so that's going to become a minus, and that's going to become a minus. That will cancel with that, and that will cancel with that, and you're left with 0. So you've got the answer. The answer is up here. Get a good highlighter. That's the answer. 3x squared minus 5x plus 6. Okay, let's try another one, because I want you to maybe try and do this one here. And take a look at it, maybe write it down into your copy and give it a go. You can pause the video now and try and do that question. And when you've tried it and you think you have an answer, press play and see if you got it right. Okay, I'm going to continue on now. I hope you gave it a go. Let's do step 1 first. Divide the first on the outside. So the first on the outside is x by the first on the inside, which is x cubed. Okay, so x cubed divided by x, that gives me x squared. Write your answer on top. Okay, up here, x squared. Multiply this by both terms on the outside, so here and here. X squared by x is x cubed, and x squared by minus 7 is minus 7x squared. Change the signs, okay, minus and a plus, and tidy it up. So x squared take away x cubed take away x cubed is gone, and minus 6x squared plus 7x squared is 1x squared. So tidy it up, bring down these other things, bring down everything else, bring down these two. So minus 16x plus 63, and let's start it all over again. This time this is the first thing on the inside. So 1x squared divided by x will give you 1x. Put your answer up there and write your answer on top. Now multiply that by both terms on the outside. So I've got to multiply this by here and by here. So 1x by x is 1x squared, and 1x by minus 7 is minus 7x. Change the signs. So that becomes a minus and that becomes a plus. Tidy it up. They'll always cancel. Minus 16x plus 7x is minus 9x. Bring down the other thing that you haven't touched yet and start all over again. This time this is my outside term. So minus 9x divided by the first term on the outside, which is x, will give me minus 9. Write your answer on top, minus 9. Multiply that by both terms on the outside. So minus 9 by x gives me minus 9x, and minus 9 by minus 7 gives me plus 63. Change the signs, so that becomes a plus, and that becomes a minus. That will cancel with that, and that will cancel with that, and you're left with 0. So the answer to that question is up here along the top line. It is x squared plus 1x minus 9. Okay, there's one more you could try if you want. You could pause the video now and you could try this one and then press play, and I'll have the answer done up for you. Okay, so there is the answer. Sorry now I couldn't get to go through it, but it's just running out of time on this video. So the answer is up here. Okay, it's taken from all those different parts that I wrote on top, all the different answers. You can pause the video there and go through it and see if it helps you make any more sense of it. But I'm just going to finish by going back to the steps. These are the steps you use to answer these long division questions.